In a humble home marked by sorrow and struggle, 12-year-old Ethan's life took a dramatic turn when his world was shattered by the sudden loss of his father. His mother, barely in her 20s, found herself fighting an uphill battle alone, facing isolation, mounting bills, and a future clouded by uncertainty. Just when hope seemed all but lost, a compassionate teacher stepped in, sparking a change that would transform Ethan's destiny forever. Welcome to Acts of Kindness Stories, where every tale reminds us that even in our darkest moments, a single act of kindness can illuminate the path to a brighter future. Stay with us as we unfold this moving journey of resilience, love, and the incredible power of caring for one another. Ethan's days began in a modest, time-worn house, a dwelling that had once been filled with the laughter of a loving family and the steady hum of a secure life. That house, built with care by his late father, now stood as a silent monument to memories that had been abruptly shattered 5 years earlier. In its faded walls, every crack and crevice held a story of struggle, loss, and an enduring hope for a better tomorrow. The absence of his father, a once robust provider whose sudden departure left the family reeling, was a constant ache that punctuated each day. With only a meager inheritance of 200,000 taka from his father's former company, a sum that quickly dwindled against the relentless tide of daily expenses, Ethan's mother was forced to shoulder the overwhelming burden of sustaining her family. Alone at a young age, she juggled the role of both nurturer and reluctant provider, her every effort aimed at keeping the fragile flame of hope alive in the face of isolation and financial despair. In those early days of hardship, the neighborhood had transformed from a supportive community into a landscape of indifferent faces. Relatives and friends who once formed a network of support now drifted away, leaving the family to fend for themselves in a world that seemed to have forgotten their pain. The absence of a caring hand or a comforting word from those who should have been their pillars only deepened the wounds of loss. As bills mounted and the once abundant food supplies dwindled, the reality of their situation settled in, a reality where even the simplest meal became an elusive luxury. Despite her unyielding determination, Ethan's mother found that each day was an uphill struggle against the relentless tide of poverty, forcing her into grueling work that rarely paid enough to cover even the most basic of necessities. Amid the gloom of these long, arduous days, a glimmer of hope emerged in the form of a dedicated schoolteacher. While many saw a frail, undernourished child slipping through the day with vacant eyes, Mr. Daniels, a teacher whose heart was as vast as his commitment to education, recognized the silent plea for help behind Ethan's struggle. In the midst of an ordinary school day, when Ethan's concentration faltered and his energy waned, Mr. Daniels observed the unmistakable signs of severe hunger and fatigue. It was not merely a lapse in attentiveness. It was the visible toll of an environment where even the promise of a nourishing meal was a distant memory. Without hesitation, Mr. Daniels took decisive action. Eschewing the boundaries of his role as an educator, he became a guardian in the truest sense, a beacon of care in a time of desperate need. Moving swiftly through the corridors of the school, he enlisted the assistance of the staff, ensuring that immediate sustenance was within reach for the ailing student. A hurried trip to the nearby market yielded a simple meal, a burger paired with a cold drink, that managed to revive Ethan's failing strength, if only for a fleeting moment. That small act of kindness, however, was only the beginning. For Mr. Daniels knew that a single meal would not heal the long-term scars etched by poverty and neglect. With a quiet resolve, he committed himself to ensuring that Ethan's family would not endure the pangs of hunger again. The teacher's compassion soon blossomed into a sustained lifeline. Recognizing that the struggles at home extended far beyond the confines of the classroom, Mr. Daniels began visiting the home where Ethan and his family lived, a place marred by the relentless pressure of financial instability and emotional isolation. Each visit was marked by thoughtful gestures, baskets laden with staples such as flour, rice, lentils, sugar, and other essentials that together wove a tapestry of hope and survival. These visits, repeated month after month, were a silent promise that the family was not forgotten. As Ethan's mother labored through long hours at cleaning jobs, a string of assignments that barely paid enough for daily survival, this unexpected support infused their lives with a measure of relief. It was as if Mr. Daniels' benevolence had opened a channel to a world beyond their immediate struggles, a world where education and kindness could forge a path out of despair. Within the confines of the modest home, the changes were gradual yet profound. Ethan, who had once been a ghostly figure in the back of the classroom, slowly began to emerge from the shadows of neglect. The teacher's insistence on his academic progress was not merely about grades or accolades. It was an unwavering belief that education was the sole avenue to escape the grip of poverty. With each passing day, Ethan's resolve strengthened. The exhaustion that had once clouded his eyes gave way to a determined spark, a promise to himself that he would overcome the hurdles that life had so cruelly placed before him. His studies became a sanctuary, a realm where the promise of a brighter future outshone the bleakness of his present circumstances. As the seasons changed outside, the rhythm of Ethan's life was steadily transformed by Mr. Daniels' continuous support. The teacher's unwavering commitment not only alleviated the immediate physical hunger, but also nurtured a blossoming ambition within the young boy. Every lesson in the classroom was now imbued with a sense of purpose. Every page turned a stepping stone toward an unknown yet promising horizon. Over time, Ethan's academic performance began to mirror the inner transformation that had taken root in him. His ability to concentrate in class improved, and his innate curiosity was reignited. No longer was he simply surviving. He was beginning to thrive, bolstered by the steadfast belief of a mentor who had given him more than just food and tuition support. Mr. Daniels had given him hope. The turning point in Ethan's journey came when an opportunity emerged that seemed almost too miraculous to be true. After years of relentless perseverance, the young student was awarded a scholarship to study at a prestigious university abroad. This honor, a testament to both his hard work and the nurturing influence of his mentor, signified not only the potential for academic excellence, but also the possibility of breaking the cycle of poverty that had once seemed insurmountable. For Ethan, the scholarship was a beacon that illuminated the path toward a future filled with promise. It represented the culmination of years of sacrifice and the transformative power of education, a power that had been unlocked by a teacher's belief in a boy's potential, even when the world had all but given up on him. The scholarship did more than provide an escape from financial hardships. It became a turning point in the lives of everyone in his small family. With the support provided by the university, Ethan's days of worrying over the next meal gradually gave way to the confidence of a young man embarking on a journey toward self-improvement and success. Arriving in a new country, where the campus was vibrant with possibility and the air itself seemed charged with promise, Ethan felt both awe and determination. His basic needs were met, and the academic environment offered a structured path that allowed him to concentrate on learning without the constant distraction of hunger. Yet even as he immersed himself in his studies and new surroundings, a part of him remained tethered to the family he had left behind, a bond that had been forged in the crucible of shared sacrifice and nurtured by the teacher's early acts of kindness. Back at home, the impact of Ethan's transformation was equally profound. His mother, who had borne the weight of solitude and hardship with quiet dignity, began to experience a gradual easing of the relentless burden. The monthly deliveries of groceries from Mr. Daniels had evolved from sporadic acts of charity into a steadfast lifeline that ensured her children never had to face the pangs of hunger alone. With the knowledge that someone was watching over them, the family's home slowly transformed from a place of anxiety and struggle into one of cautious hope. As the months turned into years, the once isolated household saw a gradual metamorphosis. The meager savings that had seemed insufficient in the past now allowed for modest improvements. New furniture replaced worn-out remnants, and a renewed sense of pride began to replace the persistent shame of poverty. This change did not go unnoticed by those who had once turned their backs on the family. Relatives who had remained distant in the time of despair began to appear at the doorstep, their gestures tinged with a newfound interest in the well-being of those they had long ignored. Their arrival, while not always born of pure altruism, served as a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change when a person's determination and the support of a caring mentor are allowed to flourish. Even as some of these gestures were met with cautious skepticism, the overwhelming tide of positive change in the household created an environment where forgiveness and reconciliation could take root. Ethan's success, nurtured by the selfless support of Mr. Daniels, became a living testament to the power of kindness, a power that had rippled through every aspect of his family's existence. As Ethan's academic achievements began to accumulate, so did his sense of responsibility. The scholarship that had once seemed like a distant dream had now become a reality that opened doors to opportunities he had never imagined. In the rigorous environment of the foreign university, Ethan not only excelled academically, but also began to cultivate a broader vision for his future. He worked diligently, sometimes balancing a part-time job alongside his studies, and every extra dollar earned was carefully set aside to ensure that his family's future would be brighter. With every new accomplishment, a high mark on an exam, a commendation from a professor, or an innovative idea during a class project, he recalled the sacrifices made by his mother and the kindness extended by his teacher. Each success was imbued with the weight of gratitude, a silent promise to honor those who had helped him escape the vicious cycle of deprivation. In the midst of academic rigor and the bustling activity of campus life, Ethan never lost sight of the promise he had made to himself and to the memory of the struggles that had defined his early years. The long hours spent studying in the quiet corners of the library, the late nights poring over textbooks, and even the moments of self-doubt were all woven into the tapestry of a life that was gradually emerging from darkness into light. His focus was unwavering, driven by the understanding that his success was not solely for his own benefit, but also a way to repay the kindness that had once rekindled his hope. Every assignment, every exam, and every lecture became a stepping stone toward not only personal achievement but also the transformation of his family's destiny. The lessons learned in those early years of deprivation were not confined to the academic realm. They permeated every aspect of Ethan's existence, teaching him the value of perseverance, empathy, and the boundless impact of a compassionate act. These lessons, instilled in him by Mr. Daniels, guided his decisions and shaped his character as he navigated the complexities of adulthood. The knowledge that a single act of kindness could change the course of one's life became a mantra, a belief that he would carry forward long after the echoes of his early struggles had faded. With every step he took toward a future filled with promise, Ethan's thoughts were invariably drawn back to the simple, profound truth that had once been embodied by his teacher's selfless actions. The passage of time brought with it moments of quiet reflection and deep gratitude. While the challenges of adjusting to a new cultural landscape and the rigors of a demanding academic program were formidable, they were made surmountable by the unwavering support that Ethan continued to receive, both directly and indirectly. The financial stability provided by his scholarship and part-time work allowed him to invest in his education wholeheartedly, while the emotional sustenance derived from the memory of his teacher's kindness provided the motivation to persevere even in the face of adversity. In this period of transformation, every new experience became a reminder of how far he had come from the days when hunger and uncertainty reigned supreme. Ethan's journey was not just about academic success. It was about the rebirth of a spirit that had once been nearly extinguished by life's hardships. Each day was a step further from the desperation of his childhood, and a stride closer to a future defined by opportunity and the promise of a better life. As he navigated the corridors of his new university, he carried with him a sense of purpose that transcended the mere pursuit of grades. It was a commitment to transforming his life, honoring the sacrifices of his mother, and above all, embodying the spirit of kindness that had been so generously bestowed upon him during his darkest hours. In time, the ripples of Ethan's transformation began to touch lives far beyond the boundaries of his immediate circle. His academic accomplishments opened doors to internships and mentorship programs, each opportunity reinforcing the belief that education was not merely a means of personal advancement but a powerful tool for social change. The very community that had once turned its back on his family was now witnessing the emergence of a young leader determined to rewrite the narrative of his own destiny. Every accolade, every recognition, was a testament not only to his talent and perseverance, but also to the unwavering support of a mentor who had once seen a spark of potential where others had seen only despair. The story of Ethan's ascent was not without its challenges, and the road to success was often marred by setbacks and moments of deep uncertainty. There were times when the weight of expectations, both his own and those of a community that had come to believe in him, threatened to overwhelm his resolve. Yet, in those moments of quiet vulnerability, he found solace in the enduring lessons of his past. The memory of a teacher who had reached out with kindness when no one else had, the quiet determination of a mother who had sacrificed everything to keep her family afloat, and the unyielding belief in the power of education became the pillars upon which he leaned during the most trying times. The hardships of his youth, far from being a source of shame, had become a wellspring of strength that fueled his determination to forge ahead, no matter how steep the climb. Within the framework of his academic pursuits, Ethan began to see his future not as a series of isolated achievements, but as part of a larger narrative of communal uplift and responsibility. His experiences had instilled in him a fervent desire to give back, to be that guiding light for others who, like him, had once navigated the dark corridors of despair. In every lecture attended, every exam conquered, and every new friendship forged along the way, he saw the potential for a cycle of kindness that could redefine lives and transform communities. The lessons of his past had prepared him for a future where success was measured not by individual accolades but by the capacity to uplift others, to extend a hand in times of need, and to nurture the seeds of hope in places where they had once withered away. In the midst of this journey, the memory of Mr. Daniels remained a constant, almost tangible presence, a quiet force that had set in motion the events leading to his transformation. Even as Ethan immersed himself in the vibrant atmosphere of university life, his thoughts were frequently drawn to the selfless acts that had sparked his metamorphosis. The simple act of providing a meal, a gesture of genuine care, had rippled outward, influencing not only his own destiny but also that of his family and community. It was a reminder that the true measure of success was not found in personal achievement alone, but in the willingness to lift others up along the way. Years passed, and the contours of Ethan's life began to reflect the cumulative impact of every hardship, every small kindness, and every moment of perseverance. The scholarship that had once seemed like a distant promise evolved into a foundation for building a career marked by integrity, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. As he steadily advanced in his professional life, eventually assuming a leadership role in a prestigious company, the responsibilities he carried were not just administrative or managerial. They were emblematic of a journey that had been defined by resilience and the transformative power of education. Each decision he made, each challenge he overcame, was imbued with the memory of a past that had taught him that every setback was an opportunity to rise again. Throughout this long and arduous journey, the everyday struggles that had once threatened to engulf his family were gradually replaced by the steady promise of stability and growth. The money that Ethan sent back home, earned through relentless dedication and hard work, became the cornerstone for small yet significant improvements in the family's living conditions. His mother, who had once toiled for meager wages with a heart full of sorrow and sacrifice, began to enjoy moments of rest and contentment, a quiet transformation that mirrored the progress Ethan himself had made. The renovations to their modest home were not merely cosmetic changes. They were physical manifestations of a life reborn from the ashes of despair, a testament to the unyielding power of hope when nurtured by acts of genuine compassion. Even as the years melded into a continuum of progress and transformation, the lessons of the past remained ever vivid in Ethan's heart. He often recalled, with a deep sense of gratitude and introspection, the early days when every day was a battle against hunger and despair. Those memories, though painful, served as a constant reminder of the magnitude of the teacher's influence, a silent debt of gratitude that Ethan carried like a cherished heirloom. The realization that one man's kindness had altered the trajectory of an entire life was not lost on him. It was a truth that resonated in every facet of his existence and inspired him to forge a future defined by generosity and empathy. There came a time when Ethan, now firmly established in his career and respected as a leader in his community, felt an urgent need to reconnect with the source of his transformation. Driven by an inner compulsion to honor the legacy of a man who had once given everything without expecting anything in return, he embarked on a personal quest to find Mr. Daniels. The search was not merely about gratitude. It was about completing a circle that had begun in the quiet corners of a humble classroom. The journey led him through memories and reflections, each step laden with the weight of a promise made long ago. When he finally found Mr. Daniels, the reunion was a moment charged with unspoken understanding, a poignant reminder that the seeds of kindness, once sown, could blossom into bonds that transcended the passage of time. In that intimate moment of reconnection, The roles had subtly reversed. The mentor, once vigorous and full of life, now bore the gentle traces of time and hardship. His health, diminished by the relentless demands of a life dedicated to the service of others, had begun to falter. Witnessing this, Ethan was overcome with a profound sense of responsibility. The tables had turned, and now it was his turn to offer the kind of support that had once rescued him from the brink of despair. Without hesitation, he mobilized every resource at his disposal, arranging for medical care, ensuring that daily necessities were delivered with unwavering regularity, and enveloping Mr. Daniels in a network of care that reaffirmed the timeless truth: kindness, once given, always finds its way home. This act of reciprocation was not simply a repayment of a debt. It was a living, breathing affirmation of the legacy that Mr. Daniels had instilled in Ethan so many years ago. The teacher's influence, which had once provided a lifeline in the darkest of hours, now found its continuation in the very actions of the man he had helped shape. With each measure taken to restore Mr. Daniels' health and dignity, Ethan was reinforcing the belief that every act of compassion set in motion a chain of events capable of transforming lives and communities alike. Over time, the bond between Ethan and Mr. Daniels deepened further, as their lives intertwined in a manner that transcended the conventional boundaries of teacher and student. The generosity that had once lit a spark of hope in a starving child had grown into a legacy of support, care, and mutual respect, a legacy that now wove its threads through every facet of their shared history. Even as Ethan continued to build a future of professional success and personal fulfillment, he never lost sight of the profound impact that a single compassionate act had wrought in his life. That impact was a constant reminder that the cycle of kindness was an unending one. Each gesture, no matter how small, had the potential to alter destinies and bring about lasting change. The narrative of Ethan's transformation, from a frail, undernourished boy struggling to survive to a determined young man poised to lead and inspire others, was a testament to the power of perseverance and the indomitable human spirit. It was a story of overcoming not just financial adversity but also the emotional isolation that had once threatened to erode his very essence. Each chapter of his life was marked by the steady influence of Mr. Daniels' support, a support that had empowered him to rise above his circumstances and build a future filled with hope and possibility. In this unfolding saga, every hardship was met with resilience, every setback with renewed determination, and every moment of despair with the promise of a brighter dawn. As the years flowed onward, the memory of those early struggles remained etched in Ethan's heart, a constant reminder of the cost of survival and the transformative potential of compassion. In the quiet moments of reflection that punctuated his busy days, he would often find himself revisiting the memories of hunger, sacrifice, and the selfless kindness of a teacher who had reached out when the world had seemed to have turned its back. These reflections were not tinged with bitterness, but rather with a deep, abiding gratitude, a recognition that his own success was inextricably linked to the compassion that had been extended to him in his time of need. Throughout this long, winding journey, the underlying message was clear and unwavering. No matter how insurmountable the obstacles, the transformative power of education and a single act of kindness could change lives. Ethan's story, woven from the threads of hardship, sacrifice, and unwavering hope, served as a living testament to that truth. It was a narrative that resonated deeply with every member of his family and community, inspiring others to believe that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, there exists a spark of light capable of igniting a revolution of change. Every day, as Ethan navigated the complexities of his professional and personal life, he carried forward the legacy of compassion that had been his guiding force. The hardships he had once endured were now repurposed into a source of strength, fueling his commitment to ensuring that others would never have to face the same despair he had once known. The lessons learned in the crucible of poverty and loss were now the foundation upon which he built a life dedicated to service, mentorship, and the belief that every individual possessed the potential to rise above their circumstances. In this unbroken cycle of kindness, the past and present merged seamlessly. The gentle influence of a teacher who had once delivered a simple meal was echoed in every act of generosity Ethan extended to those around him. Whether it was through supporting local community initiatives, mentoring disadvantaged youth, or simply offering a word of encouragement to someone in need, the spirit of that long-ago kindness lived on, a reminder that the smallest gesture could create ripples of hope that span generations. Ethan's journey, marked by both monumental achievements and quiet acts of service, became a living chronicle of transformation. His life, once defined by the shadows of poverty and neglect, had blossomed into a narrative rich with purpose and promise. Every success he celebrated was a tribute to the sacrifices of his mother and the boundless compassion of Mr. Daniels, a tribute that underscored the truth that when one person's heart is moved by empathy, it can light the way for many others to follow. In the tapestry of his life, each thread was woven with care and determination. The challenges he had faced were not erased by the passage of time. Rather, they were transmuted into a source of resilience and motivation, a constant reminder of the precious value of every opportunity to help another. As Ethan's accomplishments grew, so too did his resolve to ensure that the legacy of kindness would continue to shine brightly in a world too often overshadowed by indifference and neglect. The narrative that unfolded over the years was not simply a chronicle of academic and professional success. It was a story of human connection, of bonds forged in the crucible of adversity, and of the quiet, steadfast belief that every act of love has the power to transform. Ethan's transformation, from a fragile child burdened by hunger to a dynamic force for positive change, illustrated that the true measure of success is found not in personal gain but in the ability to uplift others. The unyielding support of Mr. Daniels had sown a seed of hope that, once nurtured, had grown into a mighty oak, one whose branches reached out to shelter those who might one day stand where Ethan had once stood, yearning for a chance to rise above their circumstances. Each page of this journey, every chapter of struggle and triumph, underscored a singular resonant message, that the light of compassion can dispel the darkest of shadows, and that education, coupled with genuine human care, is the most potent catalyst for change. In a world where so many were content to let hardship define them, Ethan's life became a rallying cry for resilience, a declaration that even in the depths of despair, the seeds of a brighter future could be sown with a single act of kindness. As the narrative continued to unfold, the impact of Mr. Daniels' generosity extended far beyond the confines of a single classroom or a humble home. It became a transformative force that rippled outward into the broader community, inspiring others to recognize that their own capacity for kindness could, in turn, alter the lives of those around them. The story of a young boy who had once been on the brink of despair became a symbol, a powerful reminder that when individuals come together in the spirit of genuine care and support, even the most formidable obstacles can be overcome. The legacy of that transformative period was etched indelibly into every aspect of Ethan's life. The lessons learned in the quiet, desperate moments of his childhood continued to inform his actions as an adult, guiding him in every decision and inspiring him to act as a beacon of hope for others. Through his work, his mentorship, and his everyday interactions, he honored the memory of the teacher who had given him a second chance that had blossomed into a future filled with promise, dignity, and the unwavering power of compassion. In the tapestry of life that Ethan wove with relentless determination and a heart full of gratitude, the message was always clear and uncompromising. No one is ever truly alone in their struggle, and even the smallest act of kindness can reverberate through time, altering destinies and kindling the flames of hope for generations to come. Each day, as he looked back on the winding path that had led him from the depths of deprivation to the heights of achievement, he felt a deep sense of responsibility, a responsibility to pay forward the compassion that had once been his lifeline. This story, rich in its detail and profound in its simplicity, continues to serve as an enduring reminder of the transformative power of human kindness. It is a narrative that not only celebrates the triumph of the human spirit over adversity, but also calls upon each of us to be that guiding light for someone else. In every act of service, in every moment of genuine care, there lies the possibility of changing a life, a possibility that Ethan embraced with all his heart, ensuring that the legacy of compassion and support would persist long after the echoes of his own journey had faded into memory. Ethan's journey stands as a living testament to the transformative power of compassion and the unyielding strength of the human spirit. The challenges he once faced, the scarcity of food, the overwhelming isolation, and the relentless pressure of poverty, gradually gave way to hope, determination, and a future built on education and kindness. His life, reshaped by one selfless act, reminds us that even in our darkest moments, A single gesture of care can set in motion a ripple effect of change that touches entire communities. As Ethan rose from the depths of despair to embrace opportunities abroad and eventually emerge as a leader in his own right, his story continued to echo far beyond his own achievements. The unwavering support he received not only transformed his life but also restored hope for his family and inspired those around him. His mother, who once faced endless days of hardship, began to experience a new chapter filled with stability and gratitude, while the community that had once overlooked their suffering now witnessed the extraordinary change brought forth by empathy and dedication. This narrative is more than just a recount of overcoming adversity. It is a call to recognize the power within each of us to make a meaningful difference. Whether it is through offering a helping hand to someone in need, supporting educational opportunities, or simply showing genuine care in our daily interactions, every act of kindness contributes to the creation of a better, more compassionate society. The lessons etched in Ethan's life remind us that no obstacle is insurmountable when we come together and believe in the promise of tomorrow. We invite you to become a part of this ongoing legacy of hope. If Ethan's story has resonated with you, if you believe that every small act of kindness can spark monumental change, then share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your voice is vital in spreading this message of resilience and compassion. Let this story be a reminder that our shared humanity lies in our willingness to care for one another. Every like, every share, and every comment helps to amplify this message, encouraging others to embrace the transformative power of generosity. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to Trend Story Life, a channel dedicated to uncovering and celebrating stories that illuminate the best of what we can be. As we aim to reach 1,000 subscribers, your support is essential in ensuring that more stories of hope and change continue to inspire and uplift communities around the world. Thank you for joining us on this heartfelt journey. Continue to spread kindness wherever you go, and let each day be a reminder that through education, empathy, and unwavering support, we can all contribute to a brighter future. Stay engaged, share your insights, and be the light that guides others out of darkness. Together, we can create a ripple effect of hope that echoes far beyond our own lives.